welcome to the part one of how to use stories, or using stories, I should say. A couple things to do really quick is go and click the Q&A tag, just if you're listening live, and ask away at any time. You don't have to worry at the very end. So what I'll do is go ahead and end the poll for those who participate in the poll. Basically saying that use stories for retailing, never, sometimes, or always. And of course, the majority, 71% say sometimes. Obviously, the goal is to lean toward always. Here's the big reason. People remember stories. It's pretty simple. And sometimes we don't have a story for this. Well, a story can be, and I'll give you three options today. That's why I want to add the little subtitle, I guess I should say, is I want to give people at least three options. Now, they're going to be very basic, and I'm going to try to cover all your different products and all your different services. But at the same time, I want this to be a starting block so people realize, hey, stories are where it's at. And let me just go right into it for the stories. I don't want to give you too much. That doesn't matter. Let's give you the examples. Obviously, the quick tip for today is we really don't want to push our solution. We want to solve their problems. That's really, if we always, and you've heard, if you've been on any of my Zooms before, you realize I say this a lot, it's always about the prospect. They can sense if we're just trying to get a sale. They can sense if we're just trying to get a retail or a prospect or a distributor. They can sense that. If we're literally like, okay, can I solve their problem? Are they looking, if we have weight loss, they're looking to lose weight. Or, if they're over the age of 30, are they looking to look younger, get rid of some wrinkles? For services, great, I could probably save them, $10, $100 a month, whatever. Always focus on the product. People, we don't want to push our agenda. We want to basically focus on a prospect and solve their problem. It's 100% all on them. Look at these two examples. Now, I made this as boring as possible when I gave them the images to use. Look at these things. Imagine, what does your eye draw to? Now, if you're a green personality, you're probably like, well, I kind of like the list thing. And most people say, well, the story looks a little bit more interesting. The book does. A lot of times we have a really good icebreaker. Hey, I just found out, or I show people how to. We have a great benefit to our icebreaker. People are leaning forward. They say, oh, great, I always wanted to lose weight without dieting. I want to look 10 years younger. I want to save money on electricity. But great, how does it work? And then they're asking for more information. And we have one or two options. We have the left side and we have the right side. And I hope we lean toward the right side. So, in other words, if someone asks us, say, "Oh, great, weight loss sounds awesome. What is it?" And we lean towards left, and we say, "Well, let me give you these 10 things that I'd like to share with you and tell you about that makes our product better than the competition. Number one, this has never been done before. Number two, we're the only ones worldwide with this secret ingredient. Number three, I can't even make it to number 10. Like, I'm super bored. But what if we said, how does our product work? Let me share you about my friend, Fred. He always had trouble losing weight. He'd lose it and gain it back. Like most people, we're engaged in the story. Now, let me share you a story about my friend. Let me tell you about my friend, Fred. You don't have to use the word story. So you kind of see where we can draw people in with stories or just real life examples versus giving them facts that research and things like that will completely boring. But then again, you're on the Zoom, so you obviously know that stories are where it's at. I just don't want us to fall into that same trap. So if anybody asks you any question, always lean toward the story. I've been doing some private Zooms, and a lot of times I get some crazy questions, which is totally fine. And a lot of times I'll just say, well, let me share your story about this, versus let me give you the answer that you're probably not going to remember. I can guarantee you remember stories from when you were a kid. A nighttime story or a story of when your parents were kids. It's really just live information, real information versus facts and figures that they're not going to remember. So I'll give you three options today. That is a very, very bare bones. We're gonna have to, up our game, and you can put them into the Q&A at any time. Say, hey, what do you think about this one? That's where I'm at for the next 10 minutes here. Okay, so option one, we give them and kind of draw them into not even really a basic story, but put them into the story. So they say, well, what exactly is the product? Well, hey, when you get our product, worst case. So it's not like when you purchase, when you buy. What are they thinking? Well, when I spend money, great. Hey, when you get our product, when you receive our product, worst case. And you give them the worst case scenario because it's focused on them. It's not, well, you got to buy this. This is the best. We've all seen that. We've all done that. We're all completely bored of that. So, hey, when you receive our product, worst case, hey, you don't have to make breakfast for the next 30 days. So maybe it's a weight loss shake. Or let's say it's skincare. Hey, when you get our skincare, worst case, you look a little bit younger. Hey, you hydrate your skin. You put off aging for at least 1 month. Oh, that's great. Hey, when you get our product, worst case, your skin's a little bit healthier. You get a kind of a natural glow to it. Whether you look younger or not, you're still going to get a little bit of glow. You're probably going to get rid of some wrinkles as well. Oh, that's great. Or when you switch to our electricity service, hey, worst case, you save $5 or $10 per month. Hey, it's just like finding $5 in your pocket from the laundry once a month. Pretty cool. Worst case, right? Because they're thinking worst case. What they're thinking is, I'm going to part with my money. You know, what's going to happen to me? I don't care about your company. I don't care about what's going to happen to me. So that is one option, is just give them the worst case scenario. Hey, worst case scenario, you blank. So if you're with a vitamin company, okay, what is your icebreaker? Is it getting rid of stress? Is it being able to sleep at night? Things like, hey, worst case scenario, you get a better night's sleep. Well, that's pretty cool. So it becomes a no-lose situation. So option 2, now you've probably seen this, and I do a Zoom on price objection, how to overcome price objections, something like that. You probably recognize this one, but I love this one because it puts them, the prospect, into a situation. And by the way, if I haven't mentioned your product or service, type that in. Let's go through these because I love doing stuff like this. I could do this all day, but we should only spend 15 minutes. You guys have busy stuff to do. You guys have, other lives. All right, so option 2. Yeah, you have your icebreaker. They love to say, oh, please tell me more about your product or service. Oh, well, that's best thing is in about 30 days, when you use our product, you'll notice, and you put them in the situation. It's very similar to option 1, where what is their life going to be like in 30 days? Or, hey, today is July 16th. Hey, in August 16th or in August, you'll receive these results. So you'll kind of put them in a situation of what their life's going to be like in a month from now, which is pretty cool. So, hey, in about 30 days, you'll notice, if you're with weight loss, hey, you'll notice that your pants aren't screaming to hold together with all the threads. You're not muffin topping as much. Hey, in about 30 days, you'll notice you get a little bit more energy because you're not lugging around some extra weight. So that's so much better than, you'll lose 5 pounds. What are they thinking? I'll probably gain it back, or is it just water weight, or is it, I don't know. But you put them into a story. It doesn't have to be like a once upon a time. A story is pretty much like it's them. Where am I going to be a month from now? That's pretty cool. Like I'm going on vacation next week, so I know, hey, in 10 days, I'll be on the beach. So I can see myself. I'm all happy now, right? I'm happy right now anyways. I have a pool. It's cool. Prospect says, oh, you're with your service. Oh, in about 30 days, you'll notice you have more money in your bank account because the auto draft from your high electricity bill in the summer is a lot lower. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's pretty neat. All right, let's see here. We'll go, someone mentioned here CD. So it's all about stress. Hey, in about 30 days, you'll notice you're less stressed out. You don't need to de-stress. You'll have better sleep. Things like that. Okay, so option 3, and I see some more questions coming in. Keep those coming in, by the way, and I really want to get to these. Option 3 is really all about testimonials. Now, we've all heard regular testimonials, like, you ask people for a testimonial. Number 1, they'll get great results, but it's like pulling teeth for them to write something, or to shoot a video, or to do anything else like that. Or even worse, we're like, oh, you want to know more information on our product? Oh, let me send you a YouTube video with a bunch of testimonials. You're like, wait, I just wanted to know if it was going to work for me. And now I have to watch a 15-minute video on people praising the product. I'm done. I'm bored. I'm out of here. What people really want to know is it going to work for me? That's all they really care about. So how do you make a testimonial exciting? How do you, engage people and use the story technique? Oh, a quick story. I have a friend. He was always stressed out. Blood pressure was through the roof. But finally, after about 30 days, he started realizing less stress. The doctor's like, hey, what are you doing to get rid of your stress? Your blood pressure is normal. Things like, no, it's not a medical claim. It's all about stress. Don't send any hate emails about this. So you're always saying like, oh, okay, I can realize this. How do I make it more vivid? The more real a story is, the better. So I'll give you an example on adding realization. If I said, Mary, let's go to lunch. You're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm hungry. I just forgot to eat at 12 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock. Yeah, I'm in. But what if I said, hey, Mary, let's go get some pizza? You're like, ooh, that sounds good. Yeah, pizza? Yeah, I'm in. Sounds great. But what if I said, hey, Mary, let's go to Dan's Pizza? It's only a mile away. We'll be there in like 5 minutes. This guy is amazing. Grew up in the pizza business, actually from Chicago. Everything is hand-tossed, fresh. The vegetables are cut fresh daily. Even has a video game machine where you can play video games for free. It's got some old school vibe to it. Everybody kind of knows each other. It's kind of like a neighborhood feel to it. You're like, oh my goodness, let's get some pizza, right? Versus, oh, let's go out to eat. So what do? We're just adding more visualization to our story. So if I said, oh, let me tell you about my friend Fred, he was always stressed out. You're like, okay, how do I make it more real? So maybe it's their age. So you do the testimonial with somebody relative to their age. So if you're going to sell me something, you wouldn't mention a testimonial about a teenage girl. Okay, there's a 30-year gap, not even my gender. I don't care, right? I don't know. Well, that's great for them. What's wrong? So always find something that's relevant, even if it's relevant to their occupation. Hey, let me tell you about my friend Fred. He works at home, but he's always kind of stressed out. Mid 40s. Kind of loses his energy throughout the day. He's started using our product. This is what happened to him. I'm in. I'm engaged in the story. A lot of times you can add more by location. Oh, they live in Texas. Great. I'm more into the story. They're around the same age. I'm more into the story. It doesn't have to be a perfect story. I'm not going to remember if it's on weight loss. I'm not going to remember if they lost 8 pounds or 18 pounds. What? They're like me. They've seen success. I'm in. So let me give you some examples here for people to kind of type things in. Let's see here. Here's a great one. Now we have a healthy breakfast, more energy. Okay, so healthy breakfast. So let's go right into it. Hey, let me tell you about my friend Gene. He had always, he'd always either miss breakfast or, he always would, eat fast food because he didn't have time. It started to add up. Fast food does get expensive after eating it 5 days a week and commuting. Hey, he started using our product. He didn't have to worry about for breakfast. And it tasted like a Wendy's Frosty, and he lost weight out of it. Like, well, hey, when talking about Gene, he's in his 40s. So you're engaging people in conversation. Okay. Coffee. Hey, really easy one. Hey, everyone drinks coffee? Yes. So we have them engaged in conversation. Hey, let me tell you about my friend Susie. Hey, Susie's same age as you, actually, probably in her 50s. Hey, she started drinking her coffee. Not only did she not get that crash at the end of the day, like most people get their coffee crash, she actually got sustained energy, even lost some weight, and people started asking me, hey, what are you doing to lose this weight? And she didn't realize all she was doing was switch to our coffee. Oh, you're going to remember that story versus, let me give you the facts on why this coffee is better than your acidic coffee that you're drinking. So what are we telling people? Well, you're wrong for buying this junk coffee. You need to buy our coffee. No, let me share you a story about my friend Susie. All right, cool. Let's see here. Okay, well, let me give you. Okay, we were at the 15-minute mark. Don't buy the books. It's not an infomercial about the books, but you can obviously read a couple. There's stories in pretty much all of our books. So I want to give you the one that's being infomercial. I'm here for you. Okay, so someone asked about opportunity. We're actually going to do opportunity tomorrow. That one's a really big one that everybody can use the exact same one. So let me go through some of the other product examples. Okay, so somebody has a balance oil. So what that is it's an omega oil that's basically it's a health product that evens out your blood numbers. So it's a healthy product. So hey, let me share you a story about and give a story about someone that's the exact same occupation, things like that. We've already talked about this, and you'll get the replay if I talk too fast. But what if they take that? How are they going to feel? Like, oh, you always struggled. Always think about your iceberg. Like, if they take our product, what's the benefit? The benefit is chances are with the oil that you're going to get better energy. You're going to have sustained energy. You're going to sleep better. You're going to have less stress. When your blood numbers are normal. So that's really what people are looking for. Hey, let me share a story about someone with the same occupation or the same age or the same gender. This is how their life was, and this is how their life is. So, they always had trouble sleeping at night. Always had like low energy. Always had, I just had to have like a 5th cup of coffee in the afternoons. 30 days later, this is where they're at. Okay, cool. Let's see here. Had a couple more that came in here. Okay, so for skincare. So I kind of glazed over this as well. So skincare, people, they love skincare. Why do they love skincare? Because they want to look younger. Yes, there's really cool ingredients, but everybody over the age 30 wants to look younger. Nobody says, wow, I wish I could look older. So for skincare, I always focus on looking younger, getting rid of wrinkles, smoothing out their skin, things like that. People are like, ooh, that's pretty cool. Versus, we'll give you the top 10 reasons why this ingredient is going to sweep the entire universe. I know, I'm kind of exaggerating, but that's just how prospects think. They think, what's in it for me? So I'll go through, for skincare's hot. This is pretty cool. Hey, when you use our skincare, worst case is you're going to get rid of some of the fine lines. You may not get rid of all your wrinkles, but you can get rid of the fine lines. I gotta look 5 years younger at least. Pretty cool. Hey, and in 30 days, you'll notice that you'll have a little less bulging around your eyes. Most people see results in about 30 days. Pretty cool. Hey, let me share you a story about my friend Jennifer. Hey, Jennifer started using our product a couple years ago, but she hasn't gotten off of it. Why? Because every month that she uses it, she takes off a couple years. People are like, hey, what exactly are you doing? Did you get some professional work done? Things like that really gauge people into stories. All right, cool. What else do we have here? Let's see here. Someone asked about replays. Yeah, so we did the replays. It'll be tomorrow. So I don't really want to give people a lot of emails. You get enough. So you'll get the replay tomorrow afternoon. And we try to keep those up for a couple of days. Really, the reason is honestly, we want people to do it right away. How many times have we bought courses and things like that? Like we buy them and we never use it. Like even though this is free, we want people to use it and get results. So people are, I'll watch it later. I have a stack of books that I've maybe read like a chapter. I'm guilty too. Okay. For services, yes. Which services? So I'll go through some of the most popular services. Let's kind of go through electricity. That's a popular service here in the U.S. So hey, when you switch to our service, or when you start redeeming your instant discount for electricity service, in worst case you save $2 or $3. Not a big deal, but at the end of the year, it's like you're finding an extra $20 in your pocket. Okay, pretty cool. Now, most of the time, people always say like $10. I get this all the time, saying like, oh, they don't want to switch to our service because they're only going to save $10. Okay, I completely understand that. I'm kind of lazy on that too. I still will, because if you're a friend of mine, but the friend that switched my cell phone service, I saved over $100, so I'm totally happy. But worst case, let's say they only save $10 on your electricity or your phone or whatever service you have. $10 doesn't sound that exciting. Here's how to share that. You basically multiply that out for the whole year. That's $120. $120 is pretty cool. They can't visualize $120. Well, what can they do? They can visualize a $100 bill. So, which is like $8.30 a month. But either way, it's like, hey, we switch to our product, or when you switch to our service, worst case, you'll save $100 at the end of the month. That's just kind of like finding an extra $100 in your pocket in December when you're like, you know what, hey, let's go out for a cool dinner. Or, hey, buy your wife $100 worth of flowers. Well, that's pretty cool. Hey, will that make your life easier? Right. Or $100, say, you know what, buy the kids ice cream once a day for a week. All right, let's go out for ice cream. Hey, worst case, it's like finding an extra $100 bill at the end of the year. That's cool. Hey, let's see, what other services? Okay. Okay. So someone mentioned DNA testing and customized products. So when you look at that, to me, that's exciting because I'm a green personality. But for most people, they're like, oh, okay, kind of sounds, it's out of their comfort zone. So what do people really like? They like customized things. They like customized their house. People like to customize their car. People like to customize what they wear. People love customization. It's kind of like a luxury to them. So people like a luxury product. So hey, when you switch to our customized nutrition, worst case, you'll get more energy than some of the junk that you buy in the store. Hey, in about 30 days, you'll notice. What are they going to notice? Obviously, more energy, less stress, more sleep. Or testimonials. Hey, let me share your story with my friend Keith. He'd always buy like the vitamins at the store. He never really got the right results because he just wasn't buying what his body needed. So he just switched to our customization pack because it's customized exactly to you, to your DNA. And what results did he get? So there you go. All right, cool. Travel. Ooh, really good one. Hey, let's see here. Travel. I got one more minute here. Hey, when you switch to our travel program, worst case, when we're finally able to travel overseas, you'll travel at wholesale instead of all those suckers paying retail. Oh, pretty cool. Let's see. You probably can't use them a 30-day notice unless we're allowed to travel in 30 days. Testimonials. Hey, let me share you about my friend. Like, he always paid retail, and now you save money. What he did with the savings is, he went out to dinner every day at his vacation versus having to cook every day at his beach house. Either way, I actually like cooking, so you'd have to use a different example for me. We'd go out to ice cream every day if we saved money at our beach house. Rented a beach house. All right, cool. Oh, a bunch of people showing up to my house and saying, hey, you're on a beach? No, not on a beach. All right. Let's see here. Any last minute question story for be able to answer just one more here. All right. Okay. So CD. Yeah, I think I already talked about that one. Let's see what else we have. Okay, yeah. So opportunity. Yes, we'll definitely do opportunity tomorrow. Because everybody can use the thing. All right, so someone mentioned about testimonials. I guess the big thing testimonials is a lot of times you don't want to give too much information. Like a lot of times if it's too much, it's like, oh, I'm being pitched. If you just figure out if it's their same age, if it's the same location, if there's something similar, then people are like, ooh, that's me. That could be me. Just like, I'll definitely pay attention if it's an example of somebody in their mid-40s versus a teenage girl. So you can kind of see where that comes in. Okay, so one more. Oh, yeah. So those are the books you can, at any time, just check out the free previews. I don't want it to be an infomercial. Definitely want you to get value out of this. Okay, so that we have a 25-minute mark. Tomorrow we'll do stories for opportunity. Completely look forward to seeing everybody and interacting. Thank you, everybody, for interacting with me today. And all right, good afternoon. My name is Steve Schreiner. We're looking at, of course, as always, 15 minutes at any time. I'll go and pull up my Q&A tab so your questions come in. Type in your questions at any time relevant to the subject, but let's go ahead and get to the poll. So we're looking at 15 minutes and 10 minutes of Q&A. So the poll is, I use stories for prospecting, and a whopping 53% says sometimes. Hey, that's great. The goal, that's not on the screen here, but the answers were never, sometimes, and always. Now, there's a 21% that says always. That's great. That's really our goal, is to always lead them with a story. The reason is people remember stories. So if you're here with me yesterday, we did stories for, of course, products and services. How are we going to do that for our opportunity? Because people will always remember stories. We'll remember stories from their childhood. And even just, it doesn't have to be like a traditional story. It can be a story of, you're catching up with a friend and you're telling them about their vacation. That's a story. Something interesting happened today. That's a story. So it doesn't have to be like a traditional once upon a time, because that's not going to benefit our business. So, hey, let's get right into it. See, a couple questions come in, all right? Keep them coming in. Here's the big tip is everybody wants what we have. What I mean is for opportunity, think about it. Nobody says, wow, you know what, if my bank account was just a little bit lower, I'd be happier. No, everybody wants to earn some extra money. And you think, even elaborate this, we have products that get results. We have services that get results, saving people money. Great. We have an opportunity where all they have to do is literally just help people know where to shop. Help people to save money, to lose weight, to look healthier, whatever. Like, they're doing it anyways. People do online reviews. People recommend stuff all the time. Like, it's a simple business. So why in the world would someone even say no? Even better, why in the world would someone even say, I don't even want to look at it? It blows my mind. So here's the thing. If everybody wants what we have, what are we saying to talk them out of it? Are we saying too much? Are we saying things that are too technical? Are we giving a bunch of jargon that they don't understand? But what does everybody understand? Everybody understands a story. Everybody understands a movie. Everybody can relate and think in pictures. And they may not relate to the PVGBs and the scientific research and all the other stuff that we throw at them, upline, downline, all the stuff that we just throw out. They just may not get it. So we have to speak a little bit in stories. But the big thing is we have to speak in realistic stories. A lot of times, and I struggle with this all the time in my 26 and a half years in this business, sometimes we have to gauge people and figure out, okay, what's realistic for them. Keep it a good point. If they make $30,000 a year, making $30,000 a month sounds great, but they just can't think that far. So if I'm looking out here in the front of my house, I can see the next street. I can see the end of the cul-de-sac. I can't see the next city over. I live in Houston. I can't see Austin, Texas. I can't see Dallas, Texas. Heck, I can't even see downtown Houston from here. But if I drive, if I go a little bit farther, then I can see farther. So sometimes we have this big goal, like, you can quit your job, you can get a Lamborghini, you can do all these things, and they're just like, wow, I just need $200 extra a month, so I'm not sweating when I'm writing the checks online. With the electricity bill, or if something happens, I need to fix up my house, or things like that. So sometimes we have to kind of gauge people and say, what story is going to be realistic for them. We can't say, oh yeah, 90 days you'll get a Lamborghini, or they may not be that far. So a lot of times we have to gauge the stories that we use for prospecting in our presentation relevant to that. So many times there's been a big shift with people that aren't sharing the big dreams. They say, share the big dreams, but let me show you what you can do in the next 6 months. Why is that? Because there's a lot of different for lack of a better term, side hustles that go on that say, oh, you could drive for Uber Eats. It used to be Uber, now there's barely any Uber. Uber Eats and all the food delivery services. Everybody can really realistically do that if they have a car. I mean, the side hustle there is there. So that's our competition, is a couple $100 or maybe a couple $1,000s per month. That's realistically our competition. We don't want to be pie in the sky. We basically, I like to throw this unicorn in there because you're going to remember the goofy unicorn. Like, it can't be unbelievable unless there's a unicorn that's real. That would be really cool. My daughter will have a kick out of that. So we can't be over the top because people won't relate to it. It'll be like this fantasy story. It's like going to a movie, seeing a scary movie or a romantic comedy or whatever, and at the end of the movie, you shut it off, and you're like, oh, that was a nice movie, I'm done. So we don't want that. We want that movie to be like, oh, okay, this can happen to me, and this is more realistically. So I'll give you 3 options today, just like yesterday. Just got to figure out what works best for you. And these are very basic, but at the same time, you can kind of, continue to add and make these more realistic for your prospecting, getting people to, want to learn more information, want to, quote unquote, get a presentation. So here's one thing. People, you have the good icebreaker. You have rapport with them. And they're trying to set an appointment, things like that. How are you going to leave them so they actually go, this could be cool, right? So give them a worst case scenario. And sometimes say, hey, look, worst case scenario. Or, hey, when you join our business, worst case. Now look at the wording, and you can of course adjust this, but I said when you join our business. I don't say if you join our business. I don't want the if. So I want, I'm putting it out there. Hey, when you join our business, hey, worst case scenario when you join our business, however you want to phrase it, you give them what can happen to them. So think about this. Are they? If you're referred to a product company, hey, worst case scenario when you join our business, you'll lose 5 pounds, and you find nobody that wants to lose weight that and everybody you run into, nobody wants to lose weight. That's dumb. Well, there's going to be somebody that wants to lose weight. Or you're with a product, a service company. Hey, you join our business, worst case, you save a bunch of money on your electricity, and nobody and nobody you ever talk to wants to save any money. They would rather pay full retail monopoly prices for their utility service. Okay. So give them a worst case scenario. I see a lot of somebody even typed in CBD here earlier. Hey, when you join our business, worst case, hey, you get to sleep better at night because with our products, you have less stress, you're a happier person, and nobody is stressed out. Nobody wants the benefits of the CBD. Okay, that's pretty cool. So sometimes you can even amp it up. So I'll even do a Zoom next week about this. It's about to give more value to your business. So a lot of times people say, oh, they say it's too expensive, or they don't have the money. That's baloney. Everybody has the money because everybody spends money on goofy stuff like going to a restaurant where you spend 3 times the amount of money for something you could have made at home. Why? Because they like to be able to be outside and hang out with their friends, or they like to not have to cook that day. So everybody spends money. So I always give the example of, well, I saw my wife's car, $40,000 car. I said, I don't need any more. Just give me $500 and we're good. Like every single person will get that $500, right? Because they're like, ooh, $40,000 car for $500. I will, drain my savings. I will look underneath the mattress. I will, that extra money in my PayPal account, whatever. Like they'll find the money because there's a big value. So sometimes, I'll go through this next week, but sometimes we need to stress the value of our business. So you can even amp up your game. Again, I'll do this next week, but you can even amp up your game. Like, hey, when you join our business, worst case scenario, you look younger. Your friends are probably asking you, what are you doing? Did you get some work done? Are you using some different skincare? And nobody wants to buy. And even better, you hang out with some positive people online via Zoom, and when we can have, events again, you get to hang out with positive people because there's so much negativity out there. It's really cool to be part of a community. Like, oh, okay, even better. So you're adding value because it's not just, spend X amount and here's your kit. Ooh, yay. No, it's like, you're going to get results. Your worst case, nobody wants results. Okay, that's unrealistic. And you get to be with a community of positive people. So that's one option. Again, I'll do that next week. And also next week, I'll be giving away a masterclass for August or anytime in 2020. So it's pretty simple. I just get people to do selfies. So next week, tune in, we'll give away masterclass as well. I love giving away stuff. Makes me feel good. Okay, so option 2 is the open loops technique. Here's the cool thing, is that once you get what this is, you can just use it throughout your day, like not just for prospecting. So for open loops technique, what that is I'll kind of give you an exaggerated example. If you ever, I don't watch the news, I just don't like it, but you always know, you've always seen like the commercials, like if you bought an iPhone in 2010 to 2015, you may be eligible for a $10,000 refund, or this politician may do this bad thing, more new at the 10 o'clock, or coming up after the break, or at 5 o'clock we'll release this information. It creates this. You don't have conclusion, you don't have closure with that information. So you're like, oh my goodness, I need to watch this information. I need to find out. So that's the sleazy way of doing things. I don't like doing that because I'm not a news anchor, and I don't make money off of terrorism. Okay, so it's the news is so negative. So how do we do that in a positive way? How do we do that in an ethical way? Really? So an open loops technique, I'll give you one more example that I love doing, and this is one you can use every day. So I had to talk to a bunch of 6th graders. This was last year, 6th grade. And like, you know anybody, the authors? And like, oh, okay, I'm an author. Yeah, I'll speak to your class. Great. How in the world am I going to keep attention to 6th graders? Because I didn't realize that I was supposed to teach the whole hour. Like, I don't know. I thought I was going to talk for 10 minutes. So I said, oh, okay, great. This is a great class for, what was it? English literature? No, it's English. ELA, whatever. Okay, so it was an English class. That's why they had an author on there. So I said, great. This is you could use these techniques that you learn in this class throughout your day to get a job. But hey, you're 6th grade. You don't care about getting a job. What do you really want to do with this information? You want to manipulate your parents. You're like, oh my goodness, this guy's super cool. I said, great. Well, I'll get to it. Let me give you some more information first. And so I kept their attention because they're looking forward to manipulating their parents. You could use this, hey, we're going to make freshly baked cookies with ice cream on top for dessert. Oh my goodness, can't wait. Oh, what? Okay, let's just pound these vegetables and salad and a couple pieces of lean meat. Hey, let's do that, and then they'll pound that food because they're thinking dessert, right? So you can kind of see this open loop technique. I want to give you these stories so you realize. So how to use that open loops technique, in our business? By giving them information that they need. So if your presentation is 5 minutes, your presentation is 15 minutes, you're trying to get people on the Zoom for 30 minutes. Ooh, that's a stretch. That's really hard to do. But if they have something that they're looking forward to, like, they have like a car bonus program or a house bonus or a incentive trip bonus, things like that. Like, you talked about wanting a new car, you talked about wanting a new house, and you talked about the incentive trips. Hey, at the 18-minute mark, at the 8-minute mark, at the 3-minute mark, they will cover X, Y, Z. So people are looking forward to, they're going to talk about that house bonus, or they're going to talk about the incentive trip, or they're going to talk about the watch, ring, maybe you get a crown. I don't know. Whatever they're looking forward to, you drop that in there. That way they're looking forward to the information versus how long is this going to take? Oh, wait, in the 8-minute mark, I'm going to talk about that thing that I wanted. Or it could even be about the product. Like, hey, we're going to talk about how to effectively lose weight at the 5-minute mark. Great. So people are looking forward to it because there's no closure. So that is an ethical way of doing it. Okay, so only have a couple minutes left. So I will definitely get to your questions, I promise you. The last one, of course, is testimonials. For more information about this, you can do yesterday's one. But the testimonial, really to make testimonials shine, is by being more specific about the testimonial. So I use the example of if you wanted to, prospect me, you're not going to tell, I'm a 40-year-old guy, you're not going to tell me about a story about a 19-year-old girl. Like, it's not relevant to me. Like, okay, that's great for her because she's always on Snapchat and things like that.